Speech acts. Speech acts are actions which are performed via utterances. Utterances can be more than just a statement. For example, compliments, invitations, complaints, or apologies. Any speech act will consist of three related acts. First, the locutionary act, the basic utterance producing a meaningful linguistic expression. Second, the illocutionary act, the reason or purpose for uttering something, for example, a promise or warning. And third, the perlocutionary act, we utter something to intend an effect. IFIDs, illocutionary force indicating devices. One utterance can have different illocutionary forces, for example, a promise or a warning. Because of that, we can use the IFIDs for indicating the illocutionary force. I promise I won't be late again. I warn you, you won't be late again. Felicity conditions. There are certain circumstances which are called felicity conditions, which can indicate the intended illocutionary act. In everyday contexts, there are preconditions for speech acts. General condition. The participants must be able to understand the language. Content condition. The contents of the utterance must be about a future event in the case of a warning or a promise. Another condition for a promise is that the future event will be a future act of the speaker. Preparatory condition. A promise has two preparatory conditions. 1. The event won't happen by itself. 2. The event will have a beneficial effect. A warning also has two preparatory conditions. 1. It isn't clear that the hearer knows the event will occur. 2. The event won't have a beneficial effect. Sincerity condition. For a promise, the speaker intends to carry out the future action. For a warning, the speaker believes that the future event won't have a beneficial effect. Essential condition. The fact that by the act of uttering a promise, I thereby intend to create an obligation to carry out the action as promised. The status of non-obligation becomes a status of obligation. Different types of speech acts can be classified as follows. Speech act classification. Speech act type, declarations, direction of fit, words change the world. A speaker causes a situation. For example, a priest says, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Representatives. They make words fit the world. A speaker believes a certain situation to be true. For example, the earth is flat. Expressives. They make words fit the world. Speaker feels a certain way. For example, I'm really sorry. Directives. They make the world fit words. Speaker wants a certain situation. For example, don't touch that. Commissives. They make the world fit words. The speaker intends a certain situation. For example, I'll be back. Direct and indirect speech acts. A different approach to distinguish types of speech acts is based on the structure. 1. Declaratives for statements, 2. Interrogatives for questions, or 3. Imperatives for requests. When there is a direct relationship between structure and function, it is called a direct speech act. For example, a declarative is used to make a statement. When there is an indirect relationship between structure and function, it is called indirect speech act. For example, a declarative is used to make a request. The most common type of indirect speech acts are interrogatives where we don't really expect an answer, but instead expect an action. For example, could you pass the salt? This is an example of a direct speech act. She's using an imperative to make a request. Speech events. Speech events are the circumstances surrounding the utterance, which include other utterances. A speech event is an activity in which participants interact via language in some conventional way to arrive at some outcome. For example, I don't really like this, speech event of complaining.